So believe it or not, Square Enix reached out to me because Final Fantasy XIV Online has a whole new expansion coming out called Dawntrail, and they said that Tural needs some drinks. That's the place we're going to in Dawntrail. We need some drinks because it's going to be a hot time in Tuliyollal tonight on how to drink. So as you might have guessed, this episode is brought to you by Square Enix and Final Fantasy XIV Online. I want to thank them so much for inviting me to sojourn into Tural. I watched the trailer and I see this beautiful resort-looking kind of city that's there in Tural. It's called Tuliyollal. I hope I am pronouncing that correctly. There's this shot where we pan across this veranda, this wooden veranda. It calls to mind to me like, you know, Adventureland and the Enchanted Tiki Room and all kinds of things that I love. And we see Urianger, this elf guy, and he's drinking out of this big pineapple. I envisioned it as being a kind of a welcome drink at the cosmopolitan, maybe resort town of Tuliyollal. So we're gonna have a Tuliyollal Punch. First things first, I need a whole pineapple. We gotta core this guy so we can drink out of it. If you've never done that, it's good fun. You should. You should totally core up a pineapple and drink out of it. The first step in that process is to cut the top off. The second step in that process is to own a pineapple corer. I'll put a link up to one of these in the pinned comment up here in the corner. And then you take it, you line it up with the core of your pineapple, and then you just kind of got to do this. And when you're doing this, you can feel the pineapple for where your blades are, and that'll give you a really good idea of when you want to stop, because you don't want to pierce the skin. Take your pineapple, put it into something if you can. I have this Cambro. Pop that out. Now I've got a place to put my pineapple flesh. What you'll end up with is a pineapple like this. Frankly, I think you can just reach in there and kind of twist it out. This part, maybe parts of it are edible. Usually it's pretty woody. Pretty good. I'm gonna eat this. From here, this drink is fairly simple. I need a shaker. I'm gonna need 3 ounces of pineapple juice. Of course, I could be getting my juice from the pineapple I just cored, but in fact, I am going to use some juice of a pineapple. I need 1 ounce of cream of coconut. There's a couple of brands of this you can buy. You could also make your own. It's more or less just equal parts sugar and full-fat coconut milk and like a pinch of salt. Mix them together, heat them up until it's dissolved, and Bob's your uncle. Want half an ounce of lime juice. And now I want 2 ounces of cachaça. Cachaça is like rum. And that, as they say, is that. Except we're gonna shake it up with some ice. I wanted to try something new. I got this as a thing that makes crushed ice. Not that crushed ice is new, but this machine is new. It's like a real mid-century thing. It's just like an old school ice crushing machine. It's very similar to what's in your fridge if you have an ice dispenser. Honestly, I would say it makes like remarkably nice ice, very equal little chunks. I wanted to get one for a while. I kind of find Lewis bags to be a pain in the butt, and the bags are always breaking on me, so I'm gonna try this for a while, see if I like it. Get the top part of your shaker, pour some of that in there, and I'll probably add 1 big cube. I always like to try to get 1 big cube in there so that it has something like heavy in there to help aerate it and shove everything around. Shake it up. Dump the whole drink in. Nice. Put your lid on. Get a straw in there. There you have it, a Tuliyollal Punch. Let's see how it is. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I love that. Oh. Okay, so it's a little bit like a riff on a painkiller because of the pineapple and cream of coconut, or on a pina colada. Throwing a little lime in there and the cachaça kind of brings in elements of a caipirinha, and so it's like well, it's a Tuliyollal Punch, but it's like if you crossed a painkiller with a caipirinha. It's just got a little bit more hoots in it, a little bit more oomph, there's a little bit more tartness, there's a little bit more bite. The cachaça is really good. I might start making all my painkillers with that stuff. It brings in this element of funk, this funky kind of brash, kind of bright, and maybe even a little fumey, a little gasoline-y kind of vibe to it that I love. I adore the way it sweetens. It works so well in cocktails, particularly with a little lime. That is fun. That is very, very fun. This drink is very fun and dangerous because I cannot stop drinking it. It is limey, pineapple, sweet coconut. It's that. It's really good. It's a delicious resort drink. Damn it, I'm making these all summer. This is my new thing, Tuliyollal Punch. These are so good. Let's just keep that guy around on set. Let's just put that right there where it'll be within reach. There's a whole lot of new locations in Dawntrail, like Tuliyollal, which is a city in Tural. It's got all kinds of beautiful scenery from what I've seen in the trailer. I love the look of it. And there's a bunch of different new locations and new characters and new storylines. And you should check it out because it's going to be available on July 2nd on PC, Mac, PlayStation, and Xbox. Dawntrail. To the dawn. Okay. Let's move on to the next drink. Square Enix gave me a bunch of footage to check out, and one of it was like this desert place, and I saw this tavern, and it has like what looks to me like a jug over the door, like a Mezcal jug, and I was thinking, they probably serve Mezcal in there. They probably have a signature drink in there, it's a Mezcal. And there's a new cousin of the Sabatender in Dawntrail called a Nopalitender. Honestly, it's got this very serious looking gluteus, but on its front, which is strange. And I thought, ooh, what about a drink for them? So I call this a Nopalitender Bender. So the first thing you're gonna need to make this drink is some prickly pear syrup. I'm sure you can find some online, or if you have access to prickly pears, you can make your own. I do not have access to prickly pears. So we're gonna do 1 ounce of prickly pear syrup. Bada bing. Need 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. I want 1/2 ounce of orange liqueur. I want 2 ounces of Mezcal. And a couple dashes of spiced bitters, something with some pepper in it. Boom. We're gonna shake that up with some ice. Strain that into the glass of your choice. Garnish it as you please. I think a lime wheel is kind of a perfect choice on this one. And there it is, the Nopalitender Bender. Let's see how it came out. Woo! Oh, that's wonderful. You get, oh my God, I gotta go back in for more. That's a fun one. It opens up with this lime, sweet, prickly pear. How do I, fruit and floral hibiscus note. Oh, delicious. That is sliding ever so slightly in towards Mezcal, smoke and salt and Band-Aids. The two, man, they really are playing off of each other. They are wonderful. Orange liqueur is adding a little bit of sweetness and also a little bit of roundness. It is rounding out the flavors. Without it, it would be all lime juice for your citrus flavors, and it would be very acidic, very tart. We thinned it out a little bit. We brought orange notes into it, brought a little bit of sweetness into it. Of course, we have prickly pear syrup as well. That rounds off the edges. So instead of it being kind of a bracing sort of, maybe an eye-opener kind of drink, this is like really kind of a sipping, enjoyable, something to enjoy on a hot day in Tural. I really enjoy that. It has such a wonderful fruit and hibiscus note to it. Oh, there's like some spicy notes too I'm getting a little cinnamon, a little bit of cardamom. That's a great drink. Oh my God. Batting 1,000 today. It's good. It's good that straw broke. So in Dawntrail, at long last, you can play as a female Hrothgar. This is a cat lady. And we got 2 new jobs. One is the Viper, and the other one is the Pictomancer. We're gonna come to the Pictomancer in a minute, but first let's talk about the Viper. This is a dual wielding job, super fast attacks. We gotta make a drink for this. The Viper, it's sneaky. It feels like it comes from that desert place to me. We're gonna call this thing the Viper's Tea. To start off with, I'm gonna take one of these bottles. I have these handy bottles you can unscrew the bottom on. They're pretty great to have. We're gonna take some Yurba Maté. This is a popular tea, or I should say Cachaça. A little Yurba Maté from the Andes? I think from the Andes, yeah, from that area. And some Pisco. And we're gonna make Yurba Maté infused Pisco. Yurba Maté has caffeine in it. It's drank the way coffee or like black tea would be drank. It's a real pick-me-up. To me, the idea of being a fast, kind of cunning, on-edge, sort of dual-wield fighter, I feel like you need something to keep your energy up. Yurba Maté. Perfect, Greg, perfect. Put your thumb over the cork. Put my thumb over the top, give it a little shake. And by the time we need this in the drink, that'll be thoroughly infused. Most teas, you're gonna wanna have heat, obviously, to get it into water, but with anything with alcohol in it, it's really astringent and good at sucking things out of stuff. So you can infuse with alcohol and tea very quickly. So I wanna start with 1 ounce of lemon juice. We need 2 ounces of our infused Pisco. 1 ounce of simple syrup. 1 egg white. Nailed that. That was great. Get your ice in there. Shake this drink. I should have dry shook it, but I forgot. However, should be fine anyway. And double strain. Hit that a couple dots of Angostura bitters on the top. Using a cocktail pick, I'll just make a little circle, a little swirly. And there we have our Viper's Tea. Ooh, that's fun. It has such a complex flavor. It is everywhere. The Pisco has such a stone fruit kind of sweetness that we're bringing out with the lemon and the sugar, the simple. And it's really cool, these rounder kind of notes there that then very quickly is suffused with earthy, herbal, vegetal tea notes from the mate. What a fun drink. The texture with the egg white and the froth, very nice. It kind of reminds a little bit of like a matcha latte. It's a little bit like that. It's in that space where it has these earthy notes, but it's sweet. And it has this froth and this foamy head. It's fun. It's great. And it probably is quite caffeinated, so I should keep a close eye on it. Bitch. In addition to the Viper, there is a Pictomancer in Dawntrail. The Pictomancer is a DPS dealing magic user who uses a brush to weave the Aether into colorful instant cast abilities and spells. And so I was looking at this Pictomancer and I was thinking, all right, we need something really special here. We need a multicolor, some kind of beverage here. So we're gonna start by using another one of my little infusion jars. We're gonna put some butterfly pea blossoms in here. There we go. Oh, for Christ's sake. I need to make a stand for these. Seal that up for a second. And a Blanco rum. We're gonna do an infusion of this. Okay, so I'm gonna start with 1.5 ounces of simple syrup. On the sweeter end of the spectrum on this one. 10 mint leaves, or really as much as you like. And 2 ounces of our butterfly pea blossom rum, which is now ready. No, I missed. And now I'm gonna shake that up with some ice. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Greg, that's not a drink. That's nothing in there. Get some ice going. Let that set for a second. Need a second shaker for this. Now I need 1.5 ounces of lime juice. 3 dashes of orange bitters. You're like literally attacking me. And I need 1/4 ounce of overproof rum. Shake that up with ice. Let that sit. Get out the glass you're gonna serve it in. Fill this glass up with crushed ice. Strain our first part of this drink. Strain the second part of this drink. We should get a lovely color changing effect here. Put a straw in that. As that intermingles, we're gonna get it shifting from blue to red. That looks great. Perfect little ombre going on. Love it. Put a mint sprig in the top there. If you were so inclined, I wouldn't object to some Angostura bitters on top. You can get a little more color in there. And there it is, the Pictomancer's palette. Let's see how she came out. Sweet, minty, balanced, definitely on the the more accessible end of the spectrum, if you will. Compare it to a mojito, compare it to a Queen's Park Swizzle. It has that kind of a vibe to it. It is wonderful. I love this drink. I think for some guests, you might go a little lighter on the sweetness, but keep in mind that's balanced with 1.5 ounces of lime juice. And of course, because the way this drink is working, you're gonna get different flavors from different layers. If you sip from the top, you're gonna get much more of that tartness. And if you try to mix them together, not only does the color only just get more interesting in my opinion. Let's see how it tastes as a combined thing. And that's really where it's at, because now the sweetness and the lime are really working together. Very, very well tempered. Very, very well balanced. The mint is kind of suffused throughout it. This fly, I'm gonna murder you! The mint is really suffused throughout the drink. And that little dash of Angostura bitters I threw on top, just on a whim there, really adds to it these kinds of spices, these Christmassy spices. They bring in some allspice, they bring in mace, they bring in cinnamon, they bring in clove, all of those wonderful things. A delight of a drink, and a little bit deceptive. Much like the Pictomancer, this one might do some serious damage per second with that overproof rum in there. You are like really just wanted to end the show, huh? Usually this is the way to go. There you have it, 4 drinks for Final Fantasy XIV's Dawntrail. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this episode. It really was a blast to kind of research that setting, look for angles to create cocktails. If you're so inclined, maybe work them into the game. Reminder that Dawntrail will be available on July 2nd. Check it out. Have fun, you warriors of light. And here's to you. Cheers. Good night and good luck.